Okay, we are live with the Wheel of Shakespeare Acting Challenge. We've got myself, Bill, and Paul here. Glad to have Bill back. Fortunately, we're missing Elizabeth and Maggie, so for now it's just the men, but we can make it work. Hopefully one of them will join us late. One thing I thought I should mention before we get started is just looking at your calendar, you'll notice that this time next week is Halloween. And I don't know if, for my YouTube channel, I've been this week and next week, very up until Halloween, all the stuff I upload is going to be in some way Halloween related. I don't know if you guys have an idea, if you think it's not a good time, if you want to not do it, if you want to cancel it next Saturday is one option, or if you have an idea, you could message me in the either email or YouTube or on YouTube in the comments about if you have an idea for adding some kind of Halloween theme to this, or if you want to just do it like normal, like it was any other Saturday. So if you guys have any ideas on that, you don't have to, I didn't want to put you in a spot now, but if you have any ideas, feel free to, and people watching and so forth, that's a question to everybody. You can message me if you have an idea. Otherwise, we'll just do it like usual, unless like you feel you have plans for Halloween or you think we should cancel or adapt it versus just do it like usual. So that said, unless there's any other questions, we'll go ahead and get started. Let's go over to the wheel. Elizabeth and Maggie aren't here, so we'll eliminate them from the wheel and just spin for the three of us. Okay, so the first monologue will be done by okay, so I'm starting us off. And I think I'll just stick to the male wheel this time since it's all men in the playing today. So here we go. So I will be doing Edmund, drinking Lear. Okay, thou nature art my goddess. Give me a second to find that. Okay. Okay, here we go. Thou nature art my goddess. To thy law my services are bound. Wherefore should I stand in the plague of custom, and permit the curiosity of nations to deprive me, for that I am some 12 or 14 moonshines lag of brother? Why bastard? Wherefore base? When my dimensions are as well compact, my mind is generous, and my shape is true, as honest madam's issue. Why brand they us as honest madam's issue? Why brand they us with base, with baseness, bastardy, base? Who in the lusty stealth of nature take more composition and fierce quality than doth within a dull, stale, tired bed go to the creating a whole tribe of fops, got tween asleep and wake? Well then, legitimate Edgar, I must have your land, Our father's love is to the bastard Edmund as to the legitimate. Fine word, legitimate. Well, my legitimate, if this letter speed and my invention thrive, Edmund the base shall top the legitimate. I grow, I prosper. Now, gods, stand up for bastards. Okay. So, I'll remove myself. Well, it'll just be for being Bill and Paul who goes next. Oops, that's the wrong. Here we go. Okay, so the next monologue will be done by. Okay, so Paul goes next. And Paul, did you want to you stick the mail wheel?
You know, I'm working on a speech right now by that Titania gives, and it's a wonderful speech. So let's do can we do the neutral gender?
Okay, great. And looks like Maggie has just joined us, so great.
Yeah, I was on the wrong LinkedIn.
I'm so glad you were able to make it, even late. I just went, and then we spun, and Paul's going to go next. So great. So now we still got you and Bill, but Paul was just selected, and he's going to go with the gender neutral wheel.
Great.
And so spinning for Paul now. Lear, blow winds, crack my
wow.
cheek. Okay. So
you can pretend you're a female Lear, Paul.
Okay. Let's see.
Whenever you're ready.
Let me find it. Blow winds and crack your cheeks. Rage blow, you cataracts and hurricanes. Spout till you have drenched our steeples. Drown the cocks, you superfluous and thought-executing fires. Vaunt courtiers of oak-cleaving thunderbolts, singe my white beard, and thou, old shaking thunder, strike flat the thick rotundity of the world, crack nature's molds, all Germans split at once, that makes ungrateful man. You read that one aloud before.
What's that?
I've heard it, but I've never read it myself aloud before. So.
Oh, really? Okay, so between Bill and Maggie, we'll spin for them. Okay, Maggie, which wheel do you want me to spin? Maggie, you're muted.
Gender neutral, please.
Okay, yeah, sorry, you were muted for some reason.
No worries.
Okay. And here we go.
fills the room up my absent child.
Constance from King John. So
Okay. Grief fills the grief.
Act 3, Scene 4 is about 100 lines in.
I'm just doing that first line. It'll take me right to it. Okay.
Yeah, it's not. I mentioned this, but it's not always the first. I might identify the monologue by its most famous line.
Yeah, and that'll often pull it up anyway. So I have it.
Okay, yeah, but I'll go ahead and take myself out of the stream and go whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Okay. Grief fills the room up of my absent child, lies in his bed, walks up and down with me, puts on his pretty looks, repeats his words, remembers me of all his gracious parts, stuffs out his vacant garments with his form. Then, have I reason to be fond of grief? Fare you well. Had you such a loss as I could give better comfort than you do. I will not keep this form upon my head when there is such disorder in my wit. Oh Lord, my boy, my Arthur, my fair son, my life, my joy, my food, my all the world, my widow comfort, and my sorrow's cure. And scene.
Okay.
Poor thing.
That leaves Bill. Hold on. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. So, Bill, did you want the gender neutral or stick to the male wheel?
I think I would rather stick to the males.
Okay. Okay, spinning for Bill. Dogberry. Have you done this one already, Bill? I think you have.
Yeah, I think I did this one, didn't I?
Okay, so I'll spin again for you.
Okay. Fair enough.
Unless you want to do it again. There's no, you want to.
Actually, I'd rather do something I'm a little more familiar with.
Okay.
Hopefully, that will come up, something I'm a little more familiar with. Okay. Scene 2, or Act 2, Scene 1. Right?
Act 2, Scene 1, toward the middle, or actually 258 lines in.
Act 2, Scene 1.
You found it?
It begins with I know a bank.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so I'll take myself out whenever you're ready.
I know a bank where the wild thyme blows, where oxlips and the nodding violet grows, quite over canopied with luscious woodbine, with sweet musk roses and with eglantine. There sleeps Titania sometime over the night, lulled in these flowers with dances and delight. And there the snake throws her enameled skin weed wide enough to wrap a fairy in. And with the juice of this, I'll streak her eyes and make her full of hateful fantasies. Take thou some of it, and seek through this grove. A sweet Athenian lady is in love with a disdainful youth. Anoint his eyes, and do it when the next thing he espies may be the lady. Thou shalt know the man by the Athenian garments he hath on. Effect it with some care, that he may prove more fond on her than she upon her love. and look thou meet me ere the first cock crow. Thank you.
Okay. That's great. We've all done our monologues. Now for our two-person scenes. So we'll, again, spin 2 names for who's going to perform together, and the remaining 2 names we'll do the second scene together. So the first scene will be with Paul and myself. So then I'll bring up the 2 male scenes. So Paul and I will perform. Okay, Cassius and Brutus. So Act 1, Scene 2. Let's figure out a good place to start that one from.
Act 1, Scene 2.
Okay, it looks like it would be Senate, exit all but Cassius and Brutus, and then Cassius line, will you go see the order of the course? That would probably, I'm guessing that's where we should start.
Okay.
Do you have a preference between Cassius or Brutus?
I don't, but let me get there. Hold on. I just
Okay.
now clicked on it. And how does the line begin?
Let's see. Senate, exit all but Brutus and Cassius, and then Cassius, will you go see the order of the course?
Senate, exit. Oh, doesn't show. Will you go see the order of the course? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm there.
Okay. So
You're going to do.
I'll take Brutus.
Okay.
And so you start us off with, will you go see the...
Okay. Will you go see the order of the course?
Not I.
I pray you do.
I am not gamesome. I do lack some part of that quick spirit that is in Antony. Let me not hinder, Cassius, your desires. I'll leave you.
Brutus, I do observe you now of late. I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you.
Cassius, be not deceived. If I have veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. Vexed I am of late with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself, which gives some soil perhaps to my behaviors. But let not, therefore, my good friends be grieved, among which number, Cassius, be you one, nor construe any further my neglect than that poor Brutus, with himself at war, forgets the show of love to other men.
Then, Brutus, I have much mistook your passion, by means whereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, worthy cogitations. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face?
No, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself, but by reflection, by some other things.
'Tis just. And it is very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye, that you might see your shadow. I have heard where many of the best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar, speaking of Brutus and groaning underneath this age's yoke, have wished that noble Brutus had his eyes.
Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius, that you would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me?
Therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear. And since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover to yourself that of yourself which you yet know not of, and be not jealous on me, gentle Brutus, where I a common laughter, or did use the stale with ordinary oaths my love to every new protester. If you know that I do fawn on men and hug them hard and after scandal them, or if you know that I profess myself in banqueting to all the rout, then hold me dangerous.
What means this shouting? Now you fear the people choose Caesar for their king?
I do you fear it? Then must I think you would not have it so?
I would not, Cassius. Yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? What is it that you would impart to me? If it be aught toward the general good, set honor in one eye and death in the other, and I will look on both indifferently. For let the gods so speed me as I love the name of honor more than I fear death.
I know that virtue to be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward favor. Well, honor is the subject of my story. I cannot tell what you and other men think of this life, but for my single self I had as lief not be as live to be in awe of such a thing as I myself. I was born free as Caesar, so were you. We both have fed as well, and we can both endure the winter, cold as well as he. For once upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, "Darest thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point?" Upon the word, accoutred as I was, I plunged in and bade him follow. So indeed he did. The torrent roared, and and we did buffet it with lusty sinews, throwing it aside and stemming it with hearts of controversy. But ere we could arrive the point proposed, Caesar cried, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink." I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy upon his shoulder the old Anchises bear, so from the waves of Tiber did I the tired Caesar, and this man is now become a god. And Cassius is a wretched creature and must bend his body, Caesar carelessly, but nod on him. He had a fever when he was in Spain, and when the fit was on him, I did mark how he did shake. 'Tis true, this god did shake. His coward lips did from their color fly, and that same eye, whose bend doth awe the world, did lose his luster. I did hear him groan. Aye, and that tongue of his that bade the Romans mark him and write his speeches in their books. Alas, it cried, "Give me some drink, Titanius. It's a sick girl, you gods. It doth amaze me a man of such a feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world and bear the palm alone."
Another general shout. I do believe that these applauses are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar.
Why, man, he doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Men at some time are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar. What should be in that? Caesar. Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Write them together, yours is as fair a name. Sound them, it doth become the mouth as well. Weigh them, it is as heavy. Conjure with them, Brutus will start a spirit as soon as Caesar. Now, in the names of all the gods at once, upon what meat doth this our Caesar feed, that he is grown so great? Age, thou art shamed. Rome, thou hast lost the breed of noble bloods. When went there by an age since the great flood, but it was famed with more than with one man. When could they say till now that talked of Rome, that her wide walks encompassed but one man? Now is it Rome indeed, and room enough when there is in it but only one man. Oh, you and I have heard our fathers say there was a Brutus once that would have brooked the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome as easily as a king.
But you do love me. I am nothing jealous. What you would work me to, I have some aim. Now I have thought of this, and of these times I shall recount hereafter. For this present I would not, so with love I might entreat you, be any further moved. What you have said I will consider. What you have to say I will with patience hear, and find a time both meet to hear and answer such high things. Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than a repute himself a son of Rome, under these hard conditions, as this time is like to lay upon us.
I am glad that my weak words have struck but thus much show of fire from Brutus.
The games are done, and Caesar is returning.
As they pass by, pluck Casca by the sleeve, and he will, after his sour fashion, tell you what hath proceeded worthy note today.
Re-enter Caesar. Okay. So we will now spin for the scene that Bill and Maggie.
What were you reading from, Mark? Which edition?
I'm looking on. I don't know what edition it's the website is Shakespeare Shakespeare.mit.edu. It's just when I Google it, the first thing that comes up where I get the complete works and I'm looking online. I kind of changed that a couple weeks ago. I used to be using an app on my phone, but I realized it's easier to have it right on the screen in front of me. I was afraid it would interfere with the other tab I have open to run, but it doesn't. It's a lot easier to do it that way. So I'm using that one online and keeping it open, a separate tab next to. That's so. Anyway, bring the wheel back. So I'll get the male, one female scene for the remaining two players. Okay, so Bill and Maggie will do. Okay, all is well that ends well. Peraulis and Helena in the first scene. So let's find it.
Unfortunately,
It's Act 1, Scene 1?
Act 1, Scene 1, yes. Let me look. See.
And starting with what?
Yeah, let me look for a good.
I do not see
80, like
Parolles.
line 80?
It looks like from when Parolles enters about halfway in, as Helena's doing a monologue, and then it says enter Parolles, and then she says aside about Parolles entering, and Parolles says, "Save you, fair queen."
Well, that doesn't sound like what I'm looking at all.
Same here. Act 1, scene 1.
And what, can you give me a line approximately? All's well that ends well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I'm
Act
looking at the
1.
one. Okay.
Act 1, scene 1, approximately
Halfway down. So
well, there's no halfway. It's just a long thing. So is it like there's a monologue that starts at line 80, but right after that it doesn't say. Oh, I see. There it says. I'm fine. I found it. Have you found it?
Oh, we're at that all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go start with that monologue, and then Parolles enters midway into that and starts. Okay. So
are you ready, Bill?
Let me
Thanks.
the others.
Okay.
Let me.
I need a sip of coffee.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Oh, were that all? I think not on my father, and these great tears grace his remembrance more than those I shed for him. What was he like? I have forgot him. My imagine carries no favor in't but Bertram's. I am undone. There is no living none if Bertram be away. 'Twere all one that I should love a bright particular star and think to wed it, he is so above me. In his bright radiance and collateral light must I be comforted, not in his fear. The ambition in my love thus plagues itself. The hind that would be mated by the lion must die for love. 'Twas pretty though, Blake, to see him every hour, to sit and draw his arched brows, his hawking eye, his curls in our heart's table. Heart too capable of every line and trick of his sweet favor. But now he's gone, and my idolatrous fancy must sanctify his relics. Well, who comes here? One that goes with him. I love him for his sake, and yet I know him a notorious liar, think him a great way fool, solely a coward. Yet these fixed evils so fit in him that they take place when virtue's steely bones look bleak in the cold wind. Withal, full oft we see cold wisdom waiting on a superfluous folly.
Save you, fair queen.
And you, monarch?
No.
And no.
Are you meditating on virginity?
Aye, you have some stain of soldier in you. Let me ask you a question. Man is enemy to virginity. How may we barricado it against him?
Oh, keep him out.
But he assails, and our virginity, though valiant in the defense, yet it's weak. Unfold to us some warlike resistance.
There is none. A man sitting down before you will undermine you and blow you up.
Bless our poor virginity from underminers and blowers up. Is there no military police how virgins might blow up men?
Virginity being blown down, man will quickly be blown up. Marry, in blowing him down again with the breach yourselves made, you lose your city. It is not politic in the commonwealth of nature to preserve virginity. Loss of virginity is a rational increase, and there was never virgin got till virginity was first lost. That you were made of is metal to make virgins. Virginity, by being once lost, may be 10 times found. By being ever kept, it is ever lost. 'Tis too cold a companion. Away with it.
I will stand for it a little, though therefore I die a virgin.
There's little can be said in it. It is against the rule of nature. To speak on the part of virginity is to accuse your mothers, which is most infallible disobedience. He that hangs himself is a virgin. Virginity murders itself and should be buried in highways out of all sanctified limit as a desperate offendress against nature. Virginity breeds mites, much like a cheese consumes itself to the very paring and so dies with feeding his own stomach. Besides, virginity is peevish, proud, idle, made of self-love, which is the most inhibited sin in the canon. Keep it not. You cannot choose but lose by it. Out with it. Within 10 years, it will make itself 10, which is a goodly increase. And the principle itself, not much the worse. Away with it.
How might one do, sir, to lose it to her own liking?
Let me see. Marry ill. Like him that ne'er it likes. 'Tis a commodity will lose the gloss with lying. The longer kept, the less worth. Off with it while 'tis venable. Answer the time of request. Virginity, like an old courtier, wears his cap out of fashion. Richly suited, but unsuitable. Just like the brooch and the toothpick, which wear not now. Your date is better in your pie and your porridge than in your cheek, and your virginity, your old virginity, is like one of our French withered pears. It looks ill. It eats dryly. Mary, 'tis a withered pear. It was formerly better. Mary, yet 'tis a withered pear. Will you anything with it?
Not my virginity yet. There shall your master have 1,000 loves, a mother and a mistress and a friend, a phoenix, captain and an enemy, a guide, a goddess and a sovereign, a counselor, a traitress, and a dear, his humble ambition, proud humility, his jarring concord, and his discord dulcet, his faith, his sweet disaster, with a world of pretty, fond, adoptious Christendoms that blinking Cupid gossips. Now shall he, I know not what he shall. God send him well. The court's a learning place, and he is one.
What one, Faith?
That I wish well. 'Tis pity.
What's pity?
That wishing well had not a body in't, which might be felt. That we, the poorer born, whose baser stars do shut us up in wishes, might with effects of them follow our friends, and show that we alone must think, which never return us thanks.
Enter a page. Monsieur Paralis, my lord calls for you.
Little Helen, farewell. If I can remember thee, I will think of thee at court.
Monsieur Parole, you were born under a charitable star.
Under I.
I especially think under Mars.
Why under Mars?
The wars have so kept you that you must needs be born under Mars.
When dominant.
When he was retrograde, I think rather.
Why so?
You go so much backward when you fight.
That's an
So is running away when fear proposes the safety. But the composition that your valor and fear makes in you is a virtue of a good thing, and I like the wear well.
I am so full of businesses, I cannot answer thee acutely. I will return perfect courtier, in the which my instruction shall serve to naturalize thee. So thou wilt be capable of a courtier's counsel and understand what it thrust upon thee. Diest in thy unthankfulness. Thine ignorance makes way. Farewell. Thou hast leisure prayers when thou hast none. Remember thy friends. A good husband as he. So, farewell.
Our remedies often ourselves do lie, which we ascribe to heaven. The fated sky gives us free scope, only doth backward pull our slow designs when we ourselves are dull. What power is it which mounts my love so high that makes me see and cannot feed mine eye? The mightiest space in fortune nature brings to join likes and kiss like native things. Impossible be strange attempts to those that weigh their plans in sense and do suppose what hath been cannot be. Who ever strove to show her merit that did miss her love? The king's disease, my project may deceive me, but my intents are fixed and will not leave me.
Hey,
Thank you.
great.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank
That's
you,
fun.
Minnie.
Okay, so we've each done a monologue and a scene. I don't know. Last week, Maggie wanted to go ahead and do
Do another round. There's only a few of us.
one more. Yeah,
I
and
don't know if people have time.
game if you guys are.
I have another online thing, but it's not till 1:30. So
Yeah. I need to leave in like maybe 20 minutes, so
okay.
probably not
Maybe
another.
we'll do monologues.
Like one more monologue is what I thought we would do. So that's cool. Again, if any of you has to go right now, that's fine. But I thought we'd each do one more monologue. But nobody. So.
We're in, right?
Okay. Okay. So back to the plate. Okay, and away we go. Okay, so Paul will start us off the second time.
And I'll do the male
Okay.
monologues.
Spinning for Paul. Okay, what a piece of work is man. Okay. That's the monologue. It doesn't start with that line. I did that by the most famous line in it. So
Okay.
So where that big monologue starts, the one that basically concludes with what a piece of work is man will be. So go and find that one, and whenever you're ready, take it away.
Okay. What a piece of work is man. I haven't found it yet for some reason.
Let's see. Yeah, Act 2, Scene 2 of Hamlet is so long it makes it kind of difficult. Let me see if I can help.
Okay, Act 2, Scene 2.
Yeah, Act 2, Scene 2. It's a huge scene. Let's see. I believe that's.
I looked up that line you spoke. It didn't come up for some reason.
When he's with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Okay. It's the first part of the scene.
Yeah. No, toward the end. It's after the Polonius stuff, after the. I
Okay.
think it's in between the first encounter with Polonius and then when Polonius comes back with the players.
Okay, let me look up.
It starts with I will tell you why, so shall my anticipation prevent your discovery.
I will tell. Okay, here it is.
Okay, got it?
Got it.
All right.
I will tell you why, so I shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen moult not feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory, this most excellent canopy, the air. Look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof, fretted with golden fire, why, it appeareth nothing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is a man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet, to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. No, nor women neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
Yay. So between 3 remaining players, next will be... Okay, so I'll go next. And I stuck to the male wheel the first time, so I'll spin the gender neutral wheel this time. So I will be doing... Lady Hotspur. The typo there. So part 1, act 2, scene 3. Give me a second to find that.
What's the line again, please?
The this is Lady Hot. It's so this is after Hotspur's been reading the letter about the rebellion, and now Kate comes. Lady Percy, you know, Hotspur's wife, enters. So that's so midway into Act 2, Scene 3 from Henry IV, Part 1. So. Oh, my good lord, why are you thus alone? For what offense have I this fortnight been a banished woman from my Harry's bed? Tell me, sweet lord, what is that takes from thee thy stomach, pleasure, and thy golden sleep? Why dost thou bend thine eyes upon the earth and start so often when thou sitt'st alone? Why hast thou lost the fresh blood in thy cheeks, and given my treasures and my rights of thee to thick-eyed musing and cursed melancholy? In thy faint slumbers I do thee have watched, and heard thee murmur tales of iron wars. Speak terms of manage to thy bounding steed, cry courage to the field, and thou hast talked of sallies and retires, of trenches, tents, of palisadoes, frontiers, parapets, of basilisks, of cannon, culverin of prisoners' ransom, and of soldiers slain, and all the currents of a heady fight. Thy spirit within thee hath been so at war, and thus hath so bestirred thee in thy sleep, that beads of sweat have stood upon thy brow like bubbles in a late disturbed stream, and in thy face strange motions have appeared, such as we see when men restrain their breath on some great sudden hest. Oh, what portents are these? Some heavy business hath my lord in hand, and I must know it, else he loves me not. Okay. So we just got two. We got Maggie and Bill left. Takes a little longer when the other people are performing. I can be getting the wheel set up for the next.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I think that's a new play, Lady Hotspot.
Yeah, I'll fix that typo before the
No,
next.
no. Anyway, I'm just saying it's fun. It's a Saturday Night Live character.
Yeah. Okay, so Bill, you're sticking to the mail wheel.
Yes, please.
Okay, so Bill will be doing.
Oh.
Tomorrow and tomorrow. Great one.
Act 5, scene 5. Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Okay.
Yay.
So that leaves Maggie. And you want to stick with a gender neutral?
I'll do a lady. I'll be a lady because I know I'm realizing I don't know a lot of female monologues, so it's good for me to have the exposure.
That's the wheel that I just added a bunch over the last week. I found a bunch of good female monologues that I don't know if you saw my message. I put that to everyone, so maybe one of those new ones will come up. But there's better selection now than there was last week of female monologues.
Well, even some of the old ones I probably didn't know. So,
Juliet got the top of Act 3, Scene 2.
Pace you, fire-footed steeds.
Fiery-footed steeds. Okay. Whenever you're ready.
All righty. Okay. Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus' lodging. Such a uh-oh, sorry, there's something interfering. Okay. Such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread those close curtained love performing night, that runaways' eyes may wink, and Romeo leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Lovers can see to do their amorous rites by their own beauties. Or if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil knight, thou sober-suited matron, all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match, played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. Hood my unmanned blood baiting in my cheeks with thy black mantle, till strange love grown bold think true love acted simple modesty. Come, night. Come, Romeo, come, thou day in night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night whiter than the new snow on a raven's back. Come, gentle night, come, loving, black-browed night, give me my Romeo. And when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, but not possessed it. And though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. So tedious is this day as is the night before some festival to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse, and she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence.
Excellent. Excellent.
Not quite like any teens I used to teach. But
Okay, so that was great. We had
thank you, everybody.
We had a good game today, and Maggie came in late to the question I asked everybody, and everybody can keep thinking of it. I don't want to put people on the spot for an answer right now, but you guys, anybody watching, you can say it in the comments to the video. I'm curious if you have ideas for next week, since this time next week is going to be Halloween. If you feel that's not it, we should cancel it because of that, or if you figure that's not a holiday
it's
worth.
not for us in California. It's noon, so.
Yeah. Or if you want to, if you have an idea for adding some kind of keeping what we're doing but giving it some kind of a Halloween theme, any ideas, just message me.
Okay.
And I'll send a link unless the vote from everyone is that we want to cancel because they think that people will be preoccupied with Halloween, or just let me know. And but thanks, it was a lot of fun today as always. I look forward to it next time. So
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you for hosting this, Mark.
Yeah, it's a lot. Thank you for participating. It's a lot of fun as always. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.